Alright. Hello. This is coming out really late because I procrastinate on things that aren't animations. A while ago, I hit 200 followers on Tumblr, and I wanted to do a Q&A video where questions were exclusively open to Tumblr users. However, I did one take, lost motivation, and never finished it. So I'm doing another take, because this is not the first time that I've failed to do a Q&A video, and I refuse to let this die, so I'm re-recording it, and you're gonna get your answers. Here we go! What is one of your least favorite OCs by design, personality, or anything? If you're asking about my personal OCs, I guess it's just any of the ones that I haven't really developed, because, like, they're just kind of there. What are they doing here? You have no place. Get out. And in terms of like other people's OCs or like other characters that I see, I don't really have a genuine dislike for any characters, so I don't think I'd really be able to give a good answer. I either like something or I don't really pay attention to it, so I couldn't really tell you any specifics about that. How do you draw on Scratch? Well, please! Okay, so on Scratch, it depends on like what I'm drawing. If you're asking about like sprite heads and stuff that I do, I usually start with a circle, and you use the different colors to separate the lines, so that if you needed to get rid of lines, then you could. And then I'm just gonna make this. I haven't drawn with a mouse in a very long time, so please excuse if I'm rough around the edges, which I am. Yeah, you just kind of go about doing your line art. You can also do it in vector mode, which makes it easier for layering and stuff. However, I only really use vector mode to do animation stuff, because I can do that, and like onion skinning, like if I wanted to make him blank, then I could do that, and then I could have a brand new thing. And then, yeah, if I need to get rid of anything, because they're all different colors, you can just do that. And then I actually like to do my coloring. I'm just gonna color in purple. I like to do my coloring in vector mode, because oh no, look, I'm ruining all the line art. But, hang on. Trust. Once I fill it in, then I can do that. And then the line art's on top. Make sure not to bitmap it too soon though, because you might want to do something like this, and like have different colors layered on top of each other. And you can do stuff like that, and then just like touch it up. So, ta-da! How many work in progress do you have? That's a great question. Let me check. I have 35 work in progresses, including the ones that I'm not going to finish. And I have 17 active work in progresses. I am planning on releasing a compilation of things that I will likely never finish, just so like people can see them, because some of them I got pretty close and I just lost motivation in the last little bit. So, it's unfortunate, but at least someone will be able to see them. And I might pick them up again one day. What are the main gang's favorite colors? Small Feather is blue like his scarf, Venus is purple, Phoenix is red, Floatings is all of them, and Draven's is green. Who was or is the least recognized character out of all your OCs? Literally almost all of them, outside of a small recognizable circle of them. Most of the characters I've never talked about outside of my lore streams, and even more so the newer characters that I didn't get to talk about during my lore streams. It's also made worse by the fact that some of them will never be shown on Scratch, which has my biggest ratio of audience, due to being body horror-y or gory, so those ones would be even less known. Which character of yours do you relate to the most, and who's your favorite character, not including the main gang? Would people be mad if I said Phoenix was a self-insert? To some extent. Would they? Is that bad? To some extent, though. She's not actually. No. I don't. Smallfeather's also where I project all of my anxiety, but I wouldn't say I relate to him necessarily. I don't think many people really could relate to him. And my favorite character, not including the main gang, would have to be Sylph. They've really grown on me recently, and I really want to use them more in the foreseeable future. I've actually started making cardboard horns to cosplay as them, maybe, perhaps, probably. I have plenty of animation ideas for them that are very ambitious, so I'm just waiting a little bit longer before I start on those. 1. Backstory hints for everyone, and 2. Is there a chance that Smallfeather could get better? 1. I'll give backstory hints for the other main cast members who haven't had their backstories released. Loadings is be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Phoenix is don't ignore the signs and symptoms of your children or your peers. And Draven's is there's just a lot more to his story than you'd probably think. I don't use him a lot, so people don't really realize how complex his story is. And is there any chance that Smallfeather could get better? Yes, there is. If bad things stopped happening to him, and he got to stay with his friends again, which are in an accessible place. No, I will not be elaborating. Next question. Does Smallfeather like feathers? If so, which are his favorite? He does, and he does not have a favorite type. What is Skrull's favorite way to torture someone? And Teddy, will you marry me? I don't know what Skrull's favorite way to torture someone is, but I think it's funny to imagine them using their alphabet, which is a silly thing that I came up with like a year ago, where each letter of the alphabet stands for a different torture or execution method. It's really funny. My friends hate it, but it's really funny. And no, Teddy will not marry you, stop asking. Who's your favorite historical animator? I have no idea. Instead of the worst, what's the best thing that has happened to Smallfeather? That's a really good question, actually. I'd have to say that it would be the fact that his friends have come back to the woods and he can actually see them again anyways. That was related to what I said earlier. Next question. 1. Can we get some Andy lore, please? 2. Does Draven get sick easily? He looks like he does. 3. How's Wi-Fi holding up? 4. You think Teddy would get a restraining order against Bluebird 251? And he has like no lore as of now, check back later. But he was inspired by Rule of Everything by Tally Hall, so I might make his story inspired by that too, so maybe that's kind of a hint. I have no idea, don't take my word for it, it's probably subject to change. Like there is literally like almost no story other than the fact that he came from Altered Smear. Like that's all I know, man. And Draven does not get sick easily. I'm curious what makes him look like he does. Wi-Fi is functional. She's functional. There are many individuals Teddy would get a restraining order against. It's so insane. I'm still flabbergasted by it. It's been like a year since all of that silliness. What were Rena's last words? Thank you. Does Phoenix truly feel close to anyone out there? Is there someone she genuinely mind about even a little if something occurred? Or is she truly just purely mindless to whatever else there may be? That's a very subjective question due to how inconsistent her mental state is, and it's constantly changing. There are a select few people she would kill for on their behalf, however, that doesn't change the fact that she would simultaneously also just flip and kill them. And sometimes she even forgets that those people exist and only remember who they are when they're right in front of her, and she's not entirely mindless. Like, there's still some semblance of, like, sentience left, but she's certainly a shattered soul that can be a hard challenge to reach sometimes. But for the few that have reached her, she does care about them, however, she's too ill to really show that she does care about them, and she would easily turn against them if something triggered her to do so. So even if you are close with Phoenix, that is arguably, like, not even that much of a better place to be in terms of your relationship with her, because if she knows you, and she knows the things, she knows you very personally, and it's very stressful and easy to tip her and send her into a emotional meltdown, and people die when she goes into emotional meltdowns, and those who are close are more likely to trigger that because they're closer to her, and the closer you are to Phoenix, the more unsafe she can feel. So don't befriend her. It's a bad idea. What is something you could spend the rest of Infinity talking about and never ever stop even if someone told you to? And also, what pets do you have and what are their names? Shipwreck 64, Rainworld, Night in the Woods, or Miracle Musical are the things that I could spend forever talking about. You would not get me to shut up if you set me off. And I have a dog named Junie. She's a German Shepherd and I love her. And I used to have 2 cats named Bitsy and Dottie, but they both passed away and I made them into OCs. And you can see them on my toy house. I don't really have plans to do much with them in terms of story, but they're there and they're happy. And they found their sisters again, so I think it's nice that they can exist somewhere else together, even though I can't really interact with them that much anymore. Yeah, that's all the questions that I had in my document for this re-record. This went by a lot faster than the old one, so hopefully it won't be such a pain to edit. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions. Thank you for 200 plus followers on Tumblr, and I'm sorry this took so long to come out. Thank you for 200 followers. Bye bye.